Okay, so are you ready to like dive into this world where you can actually build your own custom AI? It's pretty crazy because it's not just about like using AI now, it's about creating it. And like the tools are getting so easy to use, it's seriously mind-blowing.
Yeah, it's really amazing how accessible it's all becoming.
Right. So you've probably heard of OpenAI's GPT store. It's been kind of a big deal.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
It's making some serious waves. But get this. There's like this other player in the game now, and they're like totally shaking things up with this completely different approach.
It is really interesting to see this new player, Hugging Face, come in, and they're all about open source, which is a pretty big deal in the AI world.
Yeah, for sure.
And they're a company that's been doing like some seriously impressive work with open source AI for a while now.
Yeah, they have.
And so now they've gone and launched these customizable AI chatbots that they're calling Hugging Chat Assistants.
Okay, yeah, I've heard of those.
And some people are saying that they could be a total game changer.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like everyone's talking about them.
Yeah.
So, like, OpenAI has this GPT store, right?
hmm
And it's this place where people can go and, like, make and share their own custom GPTs.
Yeah.
But there's a catch. You have to have a paid subscription to ChatGPT Plus to actually use it.
Right.
And a lot of people are, like, not super thrilled about that paywall.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Like, they love the idea, but they don't love having to pay.
Makes sense.
Yeah, so that's one of the things that makes Hugging Face so different.
Exactly. They're really not about locking you into just using one company's AI models.
Right.
You know, they're all about open source. And what that means is with these Hugging Chat Assistants, you can choose from like a ton of different large language models to actually power your chatbot.
Okay, hold on, back up a sec.
Sure.
What exactly are LLMs? Like, can you break that down for me?
Yeah, so think of LLMs like the brains behind all of these AI systems.
Okay.
They're these like incredibly complex algorithms that have been trained on like massive amounts of data.
Oh, wow.
We're talking billions of words in code.
Like, seriously, billions.
Seriously, billions.
That's insane.
And all this training allows them to actually like understand and generate human-like text, which is what makes them capable of doing things like carrying on a conversation or writing different types of creative content or answering your questions in a way that actually makes sense.
Okay, so, like, they can actually hold a conversation.
Yeah, they can like actually understand what you're saying and respond in a way that's relevant and informative.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
So Hugging Face is basically giving you the freedom to, like, pick and choose the best brains for your AI.
That's a great way to put it. You're not tied to just one company's LLMs anymore.
Right, you have options.
Exactly.
So what does all this, like, actually mean for someone like me?
Okay, so what it means is that you have way more flexibility and control over your AI.
Okay.
Hugging Face is making you model agnostic, which basically means that you can use LLMs from a whole bunch of different sources.
Okay.
It's kind of like having access to this massive app store for AI where you could just go and find the perfect AI model for whatever your specific needs are.
Okay, I like that analogy.
So maybe you
Yeah.
need an AI that's like really good at writing poetry, or one that can translate languages, or one that can analyze financial data.
Oh, wow.
With Hugging Face, you have the power to choose.
So instead of being stuck with just like one ecosystem like OpenAIs,
Right.
you can kind of shop around and find the absolute best AI for whatever you want to do.
Exactly.
That's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool.
I'm still trying to wrap my head around like what these Hugging Chat assistants can actually do.
Sure.
Are they just like fancy chatbots or can they do more than just chat?
That's what's so exciting about them. Like, yeah, they're called chat assistants, but you can actually do way more than just have a conversation.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they have the potential to like automate all sorts of tasks and workflows.
Really?
Yeah, for example, there's this one developer who's building like a whole platform that's focused on using these AI assistants to streamline all kinds of work processes.
Give me an example. I'm a big picture person. I need to like see it to understand it.
Okay, so imagine this. Your AI assistant automatically schedules meetings for you by checking everybody's calendars and finding open slots.
Okay. That'd be amazing.
Or it like generates a report by pulling data from all these different sources so you don't have to spend hours copying and pasting.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Or it could even like manage your social media accounts for you posting content and interacting with your followers.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So it's like having a personal assistant that's available 24/7 and never gets tired.
That's a really good way to put it.
But wouldn't that mean that like a lot of people would lose their jobs?
That's definitely a question that a lot of people are asking.
Yeah,
And it's a valid concern.
for sure.
But the way I see it is that these AI assistants are more about like helping humans and improving what we can do
Hmm.
rather than completely replacing us.
Okay, so instead of replacing humans, it's more about humans and AI working together as like a team. I
Exactly.
like the sound of that.
Yeah, it's about freeing us up from all those tedious tasks so we can focus on the stuff that requires creativity and critical thinking and human connection.
This is starting to sound like the future.
It really is.
And it's both like super exciting and a little bit scary at the same time.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
But one thing's for sure, this technology is evolving like super fast,
Yeah,
and it's going to have a huge impact on how we work and live.
for sure.
And the fact that it's open source means that we can all be a part of shaping its future.
Okay, so just so I'm clear, we've got OpenAI with its GPT store, which seems like a more like polished and maybe easier to use experience, but it comes with that paid subscription.
Uh-huh.
And then we've got Hugging Face going the open source route, giving you more control and flexibility, and it's often free.
Yep, that's a good summary.
So what are the pros and cons of each approach?
Well, with OpenAI, you get that like really user-friendly interface, but you're limited to their models and you got to pay to use them.
Right.
It's kind of like buying a pre-assembled piece of furniture. It looks nice
Mm-hmm.
and it's easy to set up, but you can't really customize it that much.
I got it.
With Hugging Face, it's more like they're giving you all the raw materials and the tools to build your own furniture from scratch.
Oh, okay.
So you have way more freedom and control, but it requires more effort and like a little bit of technical know-how.
So it sounds like OpenAI is better for people who want a simple solution that just works right away,
Exactly.
while Hugging Face is more for the people who are like willing to put in a little more work and get their hands dirty.
That's a great way to put it. Both approaches have their own strengths and weaknesses.
For sure.
So it really all just comes down to what you need and what you prefer.
So it's like a choose your own adventure for AI.
I like that analogy.
Thanks.
Yeah. And it's only going to get more interesting from here as the technology keeps developing.
Yeah. I can't wait to see what happens.
Me too.
Okay, before we move on, I'm curious about something.
Yeah, what's up?
Like, Hugging Face is getting a ton of buzz right now. But is it like a serious competitor to OpenAI? What are people in the industry saying?
Well, some experts are saying that this is kind of similar to another platform called Poe,
Oh, yeah, I've heard of that.
which is like specifically focused on creating different chatbot tools.
Okay.
And they're saying that Hugging Face's approach with these chat assistants could actually be even more powerful and versatile than what Poe offers.
So Hugging Face might not just be a chatbot creation platform.
Right.
It could be like a contender for a whole new AI ecosystem.
Exactly. And that's what makes this whole landscape so fascinating.
Yeah.
We're seeing all these different companies and communities experimenting with different approaches.
Yeah.
And that leads to way more innovation and more options for everyone.
It's like the Wild West of AI.
Uh-huh. Yeah, you could definitely say that. But it's an exciting time to be following all of it.
It really is.
Yeah. And I think we're just scratching the surface of what's possible.
Okay, I'm ready to dive deeper.
Yeah.
What else can these Hugging Chat assistants do?
All right. So remember how I mentioned that Hugging Face has this amazing platform where like anybody can share and access pre-trained AI models?
Yeah.
It's like this giant library of AI building blocks just waiting for people to use them.
Yeah, you said it's like an app store for AI.
Right.
But like, paint a picture for me. What kind of models are we talking about here? Give me some specifics.
Yeah, you name it, they probably have it.
Really?
There are models for all kinds of things, like understanding and generating human language, recognizing images, synthesizing speech,
Yeah.
even composing music.
Wait, composing music?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's really remarkable how much these models can do these days.
So, like, let's say I'm a small business owner who doesn't know the first thing about coding.
Uh-huh.
Could I really just go to Hugging Face, find a model that does what I need, and use it?
Yeah, it can be that simple.
It seems almost too easy.
I know, right?
Like, what's the catch?
There's not really a catch.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's say you want to add a chatbot to your website to handle like basic customer questions. You could go to Hugging Face, find a pre-trained chatbot model, and then fine-tune it with information that's specific to your business.
So I wouldn't have to build a chatbot from scratch.
Nope.
I'd just be customizing one that already exists.
Exactly.
I'm starting to see why people are so excited about this.
It really is a game changer.
It's like taking a pre-made cake mix
Wow.
and adding your own special ingredients to make it your own.
That's a great analogy. And it really highlights how this approach is democratizing access to AI.
Yeah.
It used to be that you needed like a whole team of engineers and a ton of resources to build something like a chatbot.
Right.
But now with platforms like Hugging Face, anyone can do it.
So it's not just for big tech companies anymore.
No.
Anyone can play around with AI and build cool stuff.
Exactly. And we're seeing some really creative applications popping up everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Like, for example, some artists are using these open source models to create unique art pieces.
Mhm.
Musicians are using them to come up with new melodies, and there are even developers using them to write code.
Wait, hold up.
Yeah.
AI writing code.
Yep.
That's getting a little too meta for me.
I know, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of blurring the lines between human and artificial creativity
Yeah.
in a way that's both exciting and a little unsettling.
Yeah.
But it also shows just how powerful these models are becoming.
Okay, so I'm totally geeking out here, but let's bring it back down to earth for a sec.
Sure.
How are people actually using these tools to, like, make their lives easier or improve their work?
One of the areas where we're seeing a lot of innovation is in workflow automation.
Okay.
Remember how we were talking about how Hugging Chat assistants can go beyond just chatting?
Yeah.
They can actually be used to automate tasks and processes, which could potentially save people a ton of time and effort.
Yeah, you mentioned that earlier.
Right. So give me an example.
Yeah, give me some concrete examples.
Like, how are developers using these assistants to streamline their work?
Yeah.
Well, for one thing, they're building tools that can automatically generate reports by pulling data from different sources.
Yep.
So imagine never having to manually copy and paste information into a spreadsheet ever again.
Oh my gosh, that would be a lifesaver.
Right. What else?
Yeah.
What else? They're also building tools that can schedule meetings by checking everybody's calendars and finding open slots.
Okay.
Manage social media accounts by posting content and interacting with followers, and even handle things like travel bookings and expense reports.
Wow. So it sounds like these assistants could basically take care of all those, like, tedious administrative tasks that just bog us down.
Exactly.
And that would free up so much time to focus on more important things.
That's the idea.
It sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie.
It really does.
But it's happening right now.
It is happening right now.
And the pace of innovation is only going to speed up from here.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
It's kind of crazy to think about what the future holds.
It's pretty wild.
I can't wait to see what people come up with. But all this talk about AI taking over tasks makes me wonder about, like, the potential downsides.
That's a good point.
Are there any risks that we should be aware of?
That's a really important point. And it's super important that we approach this technology with a good dose of caution.
Okay.
AI has the potential to, like, totally revolutionize a lot of aspects of our lives for the better.
Yeah.
But we do need to be aware of the possible risks, too.
So what kind of risks are we talking about?
One concern is that as AI gets more and more sophisticated, it could be used for, like, malicious purposes.
Oh, no.
Things like spreading misinformation or creating deepfakes that are so good you can't even tell they're fake.
That's a scary thought.
Yeah, it is a bit unsettling.
So what can we do to, like, prevent those things from happening?
Well, for starters, we need to encourage responsible development and use of AI.
Okay.
We need to educate people about the potential dangers and come up with some clear ethical guidelines for how this technology should be used.
So it's about finding that balance between, like, using the power of AI for good and making sure it's used ethically and responsibly.
Exactly.
It's not just about the technology itself, it's about how we choose to use it.
You got it. And we need to be having these conversations now while the technology is still developing to make sure that we're creating a future where AI benefits everyone.
Well said.
Thanks.
I'm sensing a theme here.
What's that?
With great power comes great responsibility.
That's a good one.
Haha, thanks.
We need to approach this technology with both excitement and caution.
Okay, I'm ready to keep going. What else should we know about this whole open source AI world?
So remember how I mentioned that Hugging Face has this awesome platform where anyone can share and access pre-trained AI models?
Yeah, like it's this huge library of AI building blocks just waiting to be used.
Exactly, and that's what makes it so powerful.
Okay, so, like, what kind of models are we talking about? Can you give me some specifics?
Oh, you name it. They probably have it. There are models for pretty much anything you can think of.
Wow, seriously.
Yeah, like understanding and generating human language, recognizing images, synthesizing speech, even composing music.
But AI can compose music now?
Oh, yeah.
That's insane.
It's really incredible how much these models can do.
Okay, so let's say I'm like a small business owner who doesn't know anything about coding.
Okay.
Could I really just go to Hugging Face, find a model that does what I need, and just, like, use it?
Yeah, it really can be that straightforward.
It seems almost too easy.
I know, right? Let's say you want to add a chatbot to your website to handle basic customer questions.
Okay.
You could go to Hugging Face, find a pre-trained chatbot model, and then fine-tune it with information specific to your business.
So I wouldn't have to build a chatbot from scratch.
Nope, you'd just be customizing one that already exists.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense.
It's a pretty cool approach.
It is. It's like taking a pre-made cake mix and adding in your own special ingredients to make it your own.
That's a great way to put it. It really highlights how this is making AI accessible to everyone.
Right, so it's not just for big tech companies anymore.
Exactly.
Anyone can experiment with AI and build cool stuff.
Exactly. And we're already starting to see some really creative applications emerge. Like, well, for example, some artists are using these open source models to create unique pieces of art. Musicians are using them to generate new melodies. And there are even developers who are using them to write code.
Hold on, AI writing code? That's crazy.
No, right? It's like AI creating AI.
It's getting a little too meta for me.
Uh-huh. I get it, but it really speaks to the power of these models.
Okay, I can see that. So I'm kind of geeking out here, but let's bring it back down to earth for a minute.
Sure.
How are people actually using these tools to make their lives easier or to improve their work?
Well, one area where we're seeing a lot of innovation is in workflow automation.
Okay.
Remember how we were talking about hugging chat assistants, being able to go beyond just chatting?
Yeah.
They can actually be used to automate all kinds of tasks and processes, which could potentially save people tons of time and effort.
Yeah, you mentioned that earlier.
Right. So how are developers using these assistants to streamline their work?
Yeah, give me some examples.
Okay, well, for one thing, they're building tools that can automatically generate reports by pulling data from different sources.
Okay.
So imagine never having to manually copy and paste information into a spreadsheet again.
Oh my gosh, that would be amazing.
Right.
Yeah.
What else?
Yeah, what else?
They're also building tools that can schedule meetings by checking everyone's calendars and finding open slots, manage social media accounts by posting content and interacting with followers, and even handle things like travel bookings and expense reports.
Wow. It sounds like these assistants could take care of all those tedious little tasks that just eat up our time.
Exactly. And that would free up so much time and energy to focus on more important things.
It sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie, but it's actually happening now.
I know. It's pretty wild.
Yeah.
And the pace of innovation is only going to accelerate from here.
I'm excited to see what people come up with next, but all this talk about AI taking over tasks makes me wonder about the potential downsides. Are there any risks that we should be aware of?
That's a great question. And it's really important that we approach this technology with a healthy dose of caution.
Okay.
While AI has the potential to revolutionize many aspects of our lives in a positive way, we also need to be mindful of the potential risks.
So what kind of risks are we talking about?
Well, one concern is that as AI becomes more sophisticated, it could be used for malicious purposes.
Like what?
Things like spreading misinformation or creating deep fakes that are so realistic it's impossible to tell they're fake.
Oh, wow, that's scary.
Yeah, it is a bit unsettling.
So what can we do to prevent that from happening?
Well, for starters, we need to promote responsible development and use of AI.
Okay.
We need to educate people about the potential dangers and establish some clear ethical guidelines for how this technology should be used.
So it's about finding a balance between harnessing the power of AI and making sure that it's used ethically and responsibly.
Exactly. It's not just about the technology itself. It's about how we choose to use it.
Mm.
And we need to be having these conversations now while the technology is still evolving to make sure that we're creating a future where AI benefits everyone.
Well said. I think that's super important.
It is.
I'm kind of sensing a theme here.
Oh, yeah. What's that?
With great power comes great responsibility.
Uh-huh. Yep. That definitely applies here.
Yeah.
We need to approach this technology with both excitement and caution.
Okay, I'm ready to keep exploring. What else is there to know about this whole open source AI world? Wow, it feels like we've covered so much in this deep dive.
I know, right?
Like we've gone from the very basics of open source AI all the way to like talking about real world examples. And we even like touched on some of the potential risks.
Yeah, we did.
It's been a wild ride.
It has been a wild ride.
Okay, so as we wrap things up here,
Yeah.
what are some key takeaways that our listeners should keep in mind about this whole world of open source AI?
Well, I think the biggest thing is that the whole AI landscape is becoming so much more diverse and accessible than ever before.
Right.
And open source is a huge part of that.
Yeah, for sure.
Like it's making it possible for pretty much anyone to experiment with and build their own AI tools.
Yeah, it's not just for the big tech companies anymore.
Exactly.
It really feels like the power of AI is being put into the hands of everyday people.
It is.
Which is like both exciting and a little bit daunting at the same time.
I agree.
Right.
There's a lot of potential for good, but also potential for misuse.
Exactly. So like with that power comes a responsibility to use it wisely and ethically.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We have to be mindful of the potential risks, things like misuse and unintended consequences as we explore all these amazing possibilities.
It sounds like the future of AI is something that we're all shaping together.
It is a collective effort, for sure.
It's not just about the technology itself, it's about how we choose to use it.
That's a great way to put it. The future of AI is not like set in stone.
Yeah.
It's something that we're actively creating through the choices we make and the actions we take.
Okay, so let's say someone is listening to this and thinking, this is all super interesting, but what does it actually mean for me?
Yeah.
What would you say to them?
I would